The single period is a very important and defining period for a lot of people, as it sets the direction of life, of what could possibly happen in one's later years. While some people would go ahead to get married, others would make a choice to remain single. None of these choices should act as a deterrent to the fulfillment of God's purpose for a person. According to statistics, 45% out of 100% of people are single. This shows that there are a lot of people who fall under this category. I mean the category of the single people. How then do we successfully make use of this stage of life? Joining me in the chat today as we look at the topic, Single and Purposeful, is Enajite Oweibo. She's the CEO of Luster Consulting Limited, a soft skills and capacity development training company. She's a graduate of mass communication with a major in advertising, an alumni of the prestigious London College of Fashion. Our company helps young professionals build strong personal brands by paying attention to details through personal and social polish trainings, such as personal styling, etiquette, elocution, poise, and so much more. Enajite is also a corporate event host. Welcome with me to this episode of The Tongue of the Learned, the beautiful and amazing Enajite.
Hi.
Hi, Jite. It's so good to have you here.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Let me start asking you, what have you been up to, Jite?
Well, so, okay, so the whole coronavirus and everything. I actually was visiting the UK in March for a short holiday, and then I got stuck here. So I'm here in the UK shuffling between my brother, my sister, my cousin's place. So that's it basically. Like, that's what I've been doing for now. But yeah, so that's it.
Okay, it's good to know. But I mean, how's it been with the whole coronavirus thingy? You having to be your professional you, and you having to develop yourself in the midst of it all. What has it been like for you?
Okay, so professionally, a lot has not been going on. Just a few clients here and there who wants me to train their staff online. So I've been having a couple of online trainings for clients of mine, the staff of a client of mine. Other than that, nothing, much. Then in terms of personal development, I've been doing a lot of YouTube. I've been doing a lot of research. So I pick topics and I go on YouTube, watch videos.
Let me start with this question. While waiting for the right person, how have you been able to focus on where God is taking you rather than looking around desperately searching for Mr. Right?
Okay, so for me, it's not been really difficult. I'm not going to lie. It's not been difficult because I'm kind of like a focused person naturally. So the truth is, I'm so focused on because somehow back in the university days, God showed me the bigger picture of where He wants to take me to. So that bigger picture has kept me going right from the days of, like, this was like in 100, 200 level to be precise. So having that bigger picture in mind has really like kept me in check, because every time I want to just settle, every time I want to catch myself settling for less or relaxing a bit, I see the bigger picture, and then it puts fire in me once more to, keep going. So sincerely, for me and the kind of personality I have, it's not been an issue, focusing. And because and another thing, I've been lucky to have married friends. I've been lucky to have, family who are married, and they've had stories with me. I've seen good marriages. I've seen bad marriages. I've seen horrible marriages. So seeing horrible marriages and bad marriages has, it has really helped me to say to myself, you know what, you need to calm down. You don't want to be in a horrible marriage. So that has also helped me to focus, because I've really seen trust me, I've seen horrible marriages, and I'm like, I don't want that. So if you don't want that, then you have to be patient on God, right? And so that has really helped me to, focus aside from being a focused person, So yeah, that's about it.
Wow,
That's about
amazing. I love the fact that you have something driving you. The fact that before now, you already knew what God's plans for you are, talking about the present and the future. And I mean, I think that's really significant. I mean, that actually makes you different from every other person. And that's
right.
one. I just want to say amazing, dear, because a lot of people don't have this kind of grace that you have. I mean, people get worried. I mean, it's only natural to sometimes think about this, like, oh, I'm single. I mean, I really want to be in this space of being married and all that. But then understanding that that's not what life is all about is really important, like you rightly said. You know where you're going, you know what is said to you, and you're working, in line with what he has said to you. And that's really, really, really nice. Good to hear that from you. I'll move to the next question quickly. And the next question would be, someone may be asking this question right now. How can I be a better person or the best of myself, so that when the right person comes my way, I am ready mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially, or whatever way, what would you want to say about this?
Okay, so for me, I'm very big on personal development. I am big on, going out of your way. So when I was in university, you knew me back then. I wasn't much of a dresser. So many people in my class were laughing at me. I would buy books rather than, buy clothes. So for me, personal development is big. But before you can start your journey on personal development, you need to first of all figure out where you are going to, what do you want in life. I remember seeing some people on TV, like when I was younger, and I would say, oh, wow, I want to be this lady, single, successful, traveled, well-traveled. I just had an idea of what I wanted to be, when I was younger. So that kind of like helped me. You understand, helped me and then fine tune, how I wanted to develop myself. So when I don't know something, I'm always eager to learn. I'm always eager to expose myself and, go push myself, basically, just keep pushing the bars, raising the bars. When I achieve one level, I don't sit down there and dwell on it. I raise the bar again. So each time you do that, you see yourself just achieving different goals and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's about it for me. I hope I was able to answer the question.
Yes,
or do you want to repeat?
I just want to focus on you developing yourself spiritually and emotionally while you wait for the right person. You answered my question, but I think I want to spend some time listening to you. And I feel a lot of people want to know, because this is about us being Christians, and ultimately everything we're talking about is as a result of who we are in Christ. So I just want to understand, have you been able to better yourself spiritually? You mentioned one thing. You said, while some people were buying clothes and shoes and all that, you focused on developing yourself. You are spending your money buying books. Would you want to tell us about how that has actually helped you? Because I'm very sure buying those books, there were books concerning personal brandings, books concerning how to be a better person spiritually and all that. So tell me, how's that been for you?
So you see, in Nigeria, we don't have a reading culture, and that's terrible. The truth is, a reader will always be a leader. There are some things that the truth is, when you open books, it's like you're going into the mind of people who you would otherwise not have access to. And some of these people have years and years of experience. So when you open these books and you're learning, something in you just connects. You become wiser, you become, better. When you're reading some spiritual books, I don't know if it has happened to you, but sometimes you're reading a book and something just hits you from that book, and it's almost as if there's a spiritual, atmosphere. So those things, as you begin to learn more, it's all about learning at the end of the day. It's all about learning, pushing yourself to become better, knowing that this level where you are. For instance, spiritually, I was attending a church. I was growing up to the level of, becoming a pastor. But deep in me, I felt like I was growing in the aside, but I wasn't growing. And I couldn't lie to myself.
Wow.
I couldn't lie to to myself. Truth be told, I felt like because I had so much to offer. So anytime, my pastors want to do anything regarding the youths and the teenagers, they will call on me, ideas will flow. But I felt at some point I was giving up, but I was not being watered. Now, I could have said, oh, sentiment, oh, I'm already like a minister in this church, I'm already at this level, so let me go. But you see, at the end of the day, your own spirituality, your relationship with God is more than church, or your position in church or anything. So at some point, I relocated out of that town where I was, and then I moved to Lagos. When I moved to Lagos, I tried to go to some other branches of the church, but it wasn't working, and then I prayed. So it's very important to have that moment where you actually are open with God, communicate. The truth be told, I will not tell you I'm the kind of person that will pray 10 hours. No. But the truth is, when I pray, it's an honest conversation with God. Like it's a sincere, honest conversation. Like I'm talking to you right now. It's like, okay, God, this is where I am. Please help me. And usually I would just find help from God. The anointing that makes things easy just rest upon me. So I prayed and God directed me to a church. And the truth is that church has been the best thing that has ever happened to me, because the word I heard there was meat. It was pure meat. It was born. So it helped me to grow reading books. Then I also have my YouVersion devotional that I listen to every morning. I just, so that way I'm going through the Bible every morning. So that way you're growing spiritually. You understand, as you also pray, you also watching, spiritual TBN and the rest of them. They also help you to keep in touch, because sometimes you can forget yourself. You can be carried away with the worries of life. But when you tune into those stations, sometimes the word might just, get you back on track. Then emotionally has been a conscious effort. I've taken course on emotional intelligence, and I'm still going to take more, because I realized at some point that I wasn't up to par, like in handling my emotions the way I wanted it. So I took a course on emotional intelligence, and I'm still going to take more. So it's all about your consciousness. You see, when you talk about growth emotionally and spiritually, it's a personal decision. Do you understand? To learn and to push yourself and to seek out material, seek out content that will help you spiritually also. Sometimes I'm not watching TBN or anything, but I go on YouTube. The truth is, I'm not going to lie, Mike Bamiloye's ministry has blessed me so much. Wow. So especially now that his children are in charge, they are doing content that are interesting and can relate to my generation. And I'm still learning, I'm still blessed. And the truth is, it has helped me stay connected. So those are some of the ways that I've, kept myself going in terms of spirituality, in terms of emotional maturity. Yeah. So.
Great. Thank you so much, Jita, for sharing. I mean, one thing that I want to hold on to from everything that you said is the fact that, truth be told, you could have decided to remain in a particular church because you were climbing up the ladder as a single person. I mean, it would have been easy to even get someone to marry me if I'm in that kind of environment. Right. But you were sincere yourself to say, nah, there's more to me, I can't keep doing this without getting myself filled up. I need to be fed also. I can't just keep giving without getting fed in return. And you were able to open up to God to say, see, I need more. There is more of you that I need to experience. So beyond to be single and thinking I'm comfortable in this congregation where I'm used to the guys around, they're used to me, it's easy for them to you were ready to just move away from that and say, I'm ready to start all over where nobody knows me, I'm not even familiar with the terrain, but I'm ready to just be a better me spiritually. And that means living where I am and going to where I feel there is pastures, there is fresh, pastures for me in this season of my life. Thank you so much for sharing, GT. And I'll go to the next question. So while waiting, I want to ask you this. How have you been able to grow towards the person God is calling you to be? I mean, you shared with us initially how you understood from the very beginning, maybe from your 200 level, your second year in the university, what God had in store for you. So, I mean, being single and all that, has it been growing towards that person that God wants you to be? You know, there's a difference between who you want to be and who God wants you to be. So, how's the journey been for you?
The truth is, the truth is growing towards what God wants you to be. God is a God of change. He changes. So at one phase, he wants you to be this. At another phase, he wants you to step up your game and be that. So you constantly have to hear what God is saying, not what God has said. Do you understand? So for me, the truth is sometimes I get stuck. I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes I get stuck trying to figure out, you know, where God is sending me to at this point in time. Sometimes I get stuck. When I get stuck, what do? I just relax. I relax and then I go deep in. I go deep within. I start thinking things out and I do a lot of writing down of things. I start thinking so many ideas. I've been blessed with a creative mind. Wow. So many ideas, so many things come through my spirit. I write everything out. And when I write everything out, sometimes God allows me to just keep trying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the one clicks. Sometimes he directs me and says, this is what I want you to do. So at the end of the day, the truth is you need to figure out how your relationship with God, how he works with you, how he instructs you, how he guides you, so that you will not be there stuck on one thing. Meanwhile, God is telling you to go on to the next. Do you understand? Right. So that has also helped me. Like I'm constantly evolving. Sometimes it's just like sometimes it's just he exposes me to certain things that stir up something in me. And then when it's stirred up in my spirit, I can't do any other thing. My mind is always on that thing. And then you see me taking action and the action is yielding results. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Yeah. So there are different ways. There's no one size fits all. At the end of the day, it's just you need to understand your walk with God. You need to hear what he's saying to you per time. You understand? So that's that way you're growing, you're constantly growing, and then you're focused. You're not growing out of his will. Do you understand? So yeah, that helps.
Awesome. Talking about finances, being an entrepreneur that I know you to be, what has it been like for you as a single lady?
Entrepreneurship is actually very hard. So when I see people saying, quit your job, start a business, that's the way to financial freedom, my sister, it's not always true. Because there will be days where you'll be so broke that 15 naira is like a luxury to you.
Right.
I'm serious. I've been there. And then again, it depends on your business. Now with entrepreneurship, you need to build trust. And building trust takes time. And then again, it depends on the kind of business you also do. Do you understand? If it's buying and selling, you know that it's not every day, and it depends on the kind of products again, or the kind of service you're delivering. So it's quite, entrepreneurship has been quite challenging. I've made mistakes with money, but because I've made I've made mistakes with money, and I've also been in that state where, you know, it's been tough to put, you know, to even get 1,000 naira. Do you understand? I've been there some years back. I became so passionate about financial literacy. I've become so passionate about financial literacy, how to educate myself to be financially smart, how to make more money, invest it. You know, what can I do to increase my earning capacity? What can I do to work on? So initially, when I started my business, my target was mainly just so I still have the arm of the business that work with schools. We offer co-curricular club activities to schools. We partner with schools to offer co-curricular club activities like media clubs, cookery clubs, and the rest. And sincerely, a bulk of the money comes from there. But then I realized that what I do is also applicable to professionals. And there were professionals asking, especially young professionals who have just come out of university. They don't have too much money. Do you understand? So we were
Right.
offering like trainings for them and stuff like that. Then we also had, connections to some bigger organizations like the maritime organization in Lagos. What's the name again? I've forgotten the name. Where we had to partner with an organization who got the contract, and then we trained, and we're paid for that. So as a single person, I think this is the best time to build your finances, and that's the mistake a lot of girls, a lot of young ladies make. They get married, they just get they don't really think about the importance of money in marriage or even in a relationship. You understand?
Right.
This is a time where you don't have, especially for someone like me, I've been lucky. I don't have anybody dependent on me. My younger sister is also a graduate. Right now, she's even working with me in my company. I'm paying her salary. So she has her own money. Do you understand? I have elder ones. We're kind of trained to be independent. That's just the truth. So right from when I was in school, it's been like, okay, you need to make your money. You need to make your money. You need to make your money. Very, 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 very important. Money is very, very important for anything you want to do. If you want to make an impact in the kingdom of God, if you want to make an impact in life, if you want your voice to be heard, you need to have money. That's just the truth. It's not like you should worship money. It's not like you should, you understand, make money be like a god to you. But finances is very, very important. So for me, it's been like, okay, when I get to a stage in my business, I'm like, okay, what else can I do to increase my earning capacity, to attract a new sector of customers? When this money comes in, how can I save? How can I invest? What can I do? I've made some investments that didn't work out, but then again, we move. Do you understand? I don't just stay there and dwell over it. I move on to the next. Do you understand? I saw a post on a friend's Instagram handle where she said, poor people always think that investment opportunities are scam. Meanwhile, rich people are taking risk. And you understand? So money is very, very, very important, very, very important. And you must educate yourself. You must take time to be financially literate. You must take time to be financially literate. It's not just saying, oh, I'm investing. You must be financially literate. Know where to invest, when to invest, how to invest. So I'm still learning, actually. I'm still learning. That's one of the things I've been, really learning during this lockdown, looking at opportunities, looking at how, I can invest and be a better person financially. Yeah. So
awesome. I love the fact that when it comes to finances, you didn't actually limit yourself in terms of you talking about, oh, I need to rely on someone, I need to rely on this person to take care of me, that person to take care of me, because I'm single. Because I think that's another challenge we have with a whole lot of single girls or single ladies or whatever. People thinking someone has to bring the money, maybe the opposite sex and all that, not wanting to do something for your own self, So thank you so much for shedding light on that. Now, I'll move on to the next question. It says, it's often said that the best way to cure loneliness, besides the love of God himself, is to simply start considering others. How have you been able to serve others while waiting?
Oh, well, in terms of service to others, it depends. For me, my service to others has been impacting knowledge. I'm very, very eager. When I know something, I'm very eager to train people and to help people understand it and to, make people better in that area. That has been me personally. Do you understand? I know some people like to hoard information, but then again, information is everywhere. It's on YouTube, it's on everywhere. So do you understand? So for me, it's been using my opportunity, the knowledge I get, every little knowledge I get, every little knowledge I know, every information I have, just using it to bless others so that they too can become better. So it won't be like, oh yeah, the only one leveling up and stuff like that, everyone around me. So it's for me, that's my own service to others. Service can be in different ways, but for me right now at this stage of my life, that's the way I'm serving others. Just basically giving them information, opening their eyes to opportunities, exposing them to, different opportunities that are available for them and all of that. Yeah, so that has also helped
Wow.
me, kept me busy, and yeah, so that's it.
Okay, awesome. I want you to give us maybe like maybe just one of those opportunities you make known to people for the sake of those listening to us. Maybe one, two things you want to share concerning that. Things you think you've learned that you think others can learn, or maybe things you've been able to knowledge you've been able to acquire that you think you can share with others as well.
One of them is the Mandela Washington Fellowship. It's organized by the government of the United States of America. I'm sure a couple of people know about it, but there's still a whole lot of people that don't know about it. So I found out about it because I had a friend when they started it in 2014. A friend of mine was among the first sets of people who were selected, and she met her husband during the program, and they're married now and all of that. So it's organized by the government of the United States of America. So they train out of thousands of people in Nigeria, in Africa, basically. You fill the application form. It's quite a tedious process. You fill the application form. If you are selected for the first stage, you go for interview in the American embassy in your country. And when you win, the American government sponsors your trip to the US. So what they do is you have three choices. You either choose to be trained on entrepreneurship, you choose to be trained in public service or civic service, or you choose to be trained in public management. You choose any of those three tracks. Now they have a list of high-level universities in America that they've partnered with. So for 6 weeks, is it 6 weeks? Yeah, I think about 6 weeks or so. Oh no, 6 or 12 weeks, you are there in America, all expense paid. You are learning about entrepreneurship their way. If it's civic leadership you choose, you're learning about civic leadership, which is usually for people that are doing social ventures like NGOs and the rest like that. So my friend was chosen again another of my friend was chosen in 2015. She had an NGO, and that was the platform she used to go for that program. So when you go for that program, you're invited to the White House. She met with Obama. She met with senators. They were having dinners at senators' houses. So these are opportunities that some people don't know about. A lot of people don't know about, and they don't know how to go about the application. So my friend too also helps to put people through. You understand? So these are opportunities. I have another friend who got a random bulk Instagram message, WhatsApp message forwarded to her about applying for an opportunity in Germany. It was like a random play. She applied, and today she's in Germany. I met up. She visited London the other day, so we met up. So it's like there's so many opportunities. There's so many scholarship opportunities. For instance, education in Norway is free. Education in Germany is free. But people don't know this. I don't know what people are researching online. These are opportunities for them to go abroad. These are opportunities to travel. Some people just want to know, okay, how did you get your visa? How do you apply for visa? Okay, what do I need to do? How much do I need in my account? These are information that are that they actually need. And, I just give it up for free. Someone was actually charging me some years ago. Someone wanted to charge me 70,000 naira to help me apply for US visa. Something that I just ended up doing on my phone. So these are information that that I help people with, and for free, and it doesn't cost me anything. Yeah. And so
Thank you so much, Jite. That is really amazing. I mean, having to listen to you talk about opportunities for single ladies, single guys, I mean, this is really huge. And I think we're actually going to put that down below whatever post we're going to have for this particular recording, and that would really be helpful. And every other link that would be needed also would actually be put right down below. So let's move on right now. So how do you deal with people? I mean, we're Africans. Let's come down to our roots, actually. How do you deal with people telling you things like you need to be more proactive, in terms of trying to get a husband, or when people try to hook you up, how do you, I mean, if this applies to you, if this has happened to you, how do you deal with this?
I mean, The truth is, I don't think it's bad for people to try to hook you up sincerely. Personally, I don't think it's a wrong thing. Back in the days, our parents were matchmaked and their marriages lasted for long.
Right.
And the truth is, it usually cuts off a lot of process when someone is saying, oh, I know this person, I know his family, I know him very well. Do you understand? It takes away a lot of burden of trying to investigate the person, do you understand? So I don't think, now in terms of saying, oh, be proactive, I don't know about being proactive because I'm very old school. I believe like you should be found. I'm very, very old school like that. So I don't think I should go out there and be chasing after a guy. But I believe in positioning yourself. I believe in positioning yourself to be found. Awesome. Now, how can you position yourself to be found without being sold? Say there's this guy in church and you feel like, okay, this is somebody I can work with, but he doesn't seem to know that you're existing. How do you position yourself to be found? Not without looking desperate as if you're chasing him or stuff like that. Do you understand? First of all, the truth is, everybody likes people who are put together. So you have to position yourself in such a way that your A games look good. You know, I'm not saying put all, like I'm on makeup now, but it's not too much. Do you understand? I understand that some people don't like putting on makeup, but at least draw your eyebrow, learn it. Do you understand? Your hair, this is my natural hair, and you're also on your natural hair, but it's neat, right? It's neat. But then I see some people who are on their natural hair and it just looks, and you're like, what is casting, maybe? Do you know? So personally, I would never chase a guy. Personally, I don't recommend it. I have never done it, and I would never do it. I believe in a guy. You know, I believe in the old school way that says he who finds a wife, but I also believe that you can position yourself to be found. How can you position yourself? You want to get married, but you're always indoors. When they say come for church events, you don't go. When they say, okay, come for the beach party, like your friends, you want to hang out in the beach, you don't go. How do you get to be seen? These are the realities, because I don't know, some churches don't talk about these things. So you see single ladies who are struggling. Some single ladies don't even know how to communicate with a guy. They don't even know what to say. They don't know how to hold a conversation. You know, these are skills that they don't know. And it's not their fault, because they've told them holiness, 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 holiness. But the truth is, yes, holiness, 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 but you also know how to interact intellectually, intelligently with people, especially, and some ladies, they want to marry guys that are high up there. But the truth is, it's not as if it's pride. Those guys will never, except on rare occasions where God has really, really nudged their heart. But it's most unlikely that those guys will see them, because number one, you're not in their circle. So you have to be in the circle. You have to be, that's the way of positioning yourself. If you want to marry a doctor, then you better go and have friends around doctors. That's one way to position yourself. Do you understand? If you want to marry an IT person or an engineer, then you better have friends who are in that circle. You understand? So you have to position yourself. That's just the truth. And I don't see anything wrong with someone saying, oh, meet my I know several people who met their husbands that way, and they're married, you know, and they're okay. Do you understand? So that's just my take on it, basically.
I mean, that's really interesting. That's really interesting. Holiness is good. Yeah, no doubt. We have no doubts about that. But I mean, like you rightly said, even God expects us to apply wisdom. I mean, just things you need to do. There are things we need to learn, as the case is. So thank you so much for that, GT. I want to move on to talking about loneliness. I was talking about the fact that a lot of people think singleness is the same thing as loneliness. I mean, they just put them side by side and say when you're single, you're lonely. What do you think about this?
The truth, if I am honest, I am hardly ever lonely. I'm not going to lie to you. because I am so busy doing so many things. I'm living my dream. I'm pursuing my dream. I have a dream of the kind of lifestyle I want to live. I have a dream of the kind of life I want to live, the kind of man I want to marry, the kind of person I want to be. I'm so busy working on myself and living my dream that the truth is, I hardly am, I'm not going to lie to you, I hardly am ever lonely. And I'm a kind of person that if I have the internet, if there's light, if I have books, I'm okay. I'm okay. So sincerely, this is just me. But it doesn't mean that if someone is feeling lonely, that is bad, okay? It's not bad, but it cannot overwhelm you. You cannot allow it to be what you think about. Oh, I'm so lonely. Everybody's married. My life is frustrating. Live your dreams. Enjoy your life. Travel if you want to. Even if it's Cotonou, you can afford. Go there. If it's Ghana, you can afford. Start from there. If it's Kenya, start from there. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your single moment. Right now, I'm just taking time to travel because this is something I love to do. Yeah. It's not as if there's one big money anywhere, but I plan myself very well. And I look for cheap ticket deals. Do you understand? And, so the truth is, I'm not lonely. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't feel lonely. I don't feel depressed. I'm not going to lie. I'm actually, I don't know whether I'm enjoying this season too much, Seth. I don't even know. I don't even know. But I am actually very honestly, I am very good. I don't feel lonely. I don't feel depressed. I don't feel one kind of way. Yeah. Even when I'm with my friends who are married or they're in relationship, I don't feel like I'm left out. I just feel like it's a season, because I got to understand that everybody are in different seasons of their lives. Right. So you cannot use someone else's season to determine your own season. Just because I am single today doesn't mean that I'll be single forever. Right. Because I know that God has plans for me, and His plan is to give me a perfect end. Do you understand? To give me peace, to give me a perfect end. So this is just a season, and I'm enjoying it. I'm maximizing it to the fullest. Yeah, so that's it basically.
Awesome. I'm going to go back to what you just talked about, GT. Someone is asking and saying, okay, I want to do those things you're doing. I love to travel. I love to see the world. I'm single, but I don't think I have that kind of money. But you know why I love what you shared with us? You mentioned the fact that I know how to go after cheap tickets. Yeah? Maybe that's not my kind of person, I want to travel today, I get what I want, and I'm gone. But I mean, if you have a way around that, would you want to share if there's anything regarding that, like any tips here and there that we can actually learn from? For the single ladies, and maybe for some married people who just want to have, this kind of opportunity.
Okay, so I did not start off traveling like this. So what happened was, I went to Dubai. Then the ticket was 150,000. I was a teacher earning 50,000 naira. So what did I do? I was earning 50,000 naira. After tax, I was earning like 47 or so, for 46,000 naira. Yet I went to Dubai. However, there are teachers that earn more than me that have never traveled and they are single. So what did I do? I joined the contribution group. I joined the contribution group because I knew that I was going to travel. So I made sure that my packing was around the period that I wanted to travel. Do you understand? Right. And luckily for me then, this was in 2014, the Naira to dirham wasn't, dollars wasn't that crazy. So I got a cheap, I usually book my flights around 2 a.m., 3 a.m. because I noticed that it's usually cheaper during that period. Yes. So I wake up, I'm awake from 12 till 4 a.m. Prices of tickets are very cheap. I don't use travel. The only time I've ever used a travel agency to book my ticket was Waka Now, because they seem to have the cheapest tickets that I saw. So I used them. So I used them for my US trip and I used them for my Dubai trip. Okay. So because they had the cheapest tickets. But usually I just go to the flight website and I do my bookings with my phone. These things is not, it's as long as you're learned, you can read. All these things are very easy. Do you understand? So I looked for cheap tickets around 12 a.m. till 3 a.m., 3:30 a.m. So the tickets fluctuate. It fluctuates, but it's usually very cheaper around that period. That's what I noticed. So, yeah, so that was what I did. And yeah, so, and I was there. I was there taking pictures. If you like, sometimes I stay in hostels. I share room with 4 or 5 other people.
Wow.
It's cheaper. Because at the end of the day, you're going for a holiday. You're not going to be sleeping in the hotel. You're going to be out and about touring. So why are you taking an expensive hotel? Only you in the hotel room when you really can't afford it. So why don't you take a hostel? So those are the ways. Those are some of the ways. So I usually will just start a contribution close to that period, so that I'm able to gather the money in bulk. Do you understand? Right. Now, some of these travel agencies also have instrumental payment plans. So say you want to travel in December, they have instrumental payment plan where you can start paying in January, small, maybe 10,000 naira, so that by the time December for your trip, you finish paying off the tickets money and the hotel, whatever, depending on the package. So yeah. So usually you can start from, I recommend before you go to US Embassy or UK, you should have some travel experience, because they really look at that. And I was asked during my interview. So so usually I would recommend for people to probably go to Dubai, South Africa, Kenya, visit some African countries before they approach the US. US Embassy doesn't really care about your bank statements, really. They care more about the information you filled in, and then when they ask you, it must study, and then look at your body language. So they don't really look at your bank details or anything. So these are things that some people don't know. So they just see you traveling and be like, hey, she has money, she's a big girl. Amen, no. Amen, boy. These are some of the tricks, to travel internationally.
Thank you so much for sharing, Jite. That has been really useful. I mean, for myself, even as a married person, I mean, it's really useful for me because I travel. So, I mean, I now I know that I should keep videos. I mean, stay awake at night to get the cheap tickets. So I'm actually going to start working on that for the sake of mission trip and all that. That has been really useful, helpful rather, knowing that I could actually just keep videos and get really, really good deals. Yes, thank you so much for that. So let me just ask you this before I ask. We have some questions from some of our viewers who actually watch us, and I'm going to ask you those questions. They're quite personal, but it's left for you to share if you want to share. But let me just ask you from my side what I want to ask you before I go to that. So have you ever been tempted, to just marry anyone that comes your way? And how did you deal with this?
Okay, so in terms of tempted to marry anyone that just comes my way, the truth is no, I've not been tempted. Have I ever been tempted to date someone that comes my way? Yes, and I did date someone that came my way. He did propose, but I wasn't tempted to rush into the marriage. And because I was taking slow, he was acting up, I returned his ring. So personally, I have never ever been tempted to just marry anybody, because if I was, I would have really tried to make that thing work with that guy and still be pushing it on and get married to him. But immediately I noticed that he was acting up. 1 month after engagement, I returned this ring. I didn't have time for that, because I know where I'm going to, I know who I am, and I know who can fit into my life. I will not beg a man to stay with me. I will not beg a man to love and respect me. I will not beg a man to be with me for any reason whatsoever. So have I been tempted to date someone I met? Yes. But have I been tempted to get married? No. I've never been.
I mean, it takes a whole lot of confidence and a whole lot of understanding who God has called you to be. To do what you do. I've always known you. I mean, you're not new to me. So I know that you're a strong person and you're actually a really focused person. And that's really amazing. I think a lot of people can learn from this. Marriage is not about me forcing myself on a guy, If it's not going to work, I don't need to point to people, It's about when it comes and he's mine, then so be it. If it's not, it's for me to have been in a relationship with someone. If it doesn't work, it's time to move on, girl. I mean, we're not, when it comes to relationships. So thank you very much for sharing that, GT. Finally, from my side, before I actually ask you those questions from other people. Now, what keeps you going as a single Christian girl? Or let me say lady. We call ourselves girls. So what keeps you going as a Christian lady, considering how much you love to travel, develop yourself, have fun, waiting for the right person?
So what keeps me going while I'm waiting for the right person? Because I just have a confidence that I'm going to have a good home. Right. And for everything good, you don't want to rush into it. For every good gift, God takes his time to work on you and work on the other person. And when he brings you together, you understand you both have attained a certain level. Although when you come together, of course, there will be clashes of opinions, but at least there's some level of maturity that you have gained. And I was telling my my cousin's wife today, she's a British woman, she's a white lady, and we're talking about marriage, and she was talking about how so many expectations that she had because she never saw her parents quarrel and stuff like that. So coming into marriage, she was expecting the same, and then so many expectations and stuff like that. And so she keeps telling me one thing. She said, "See, forget that you're in your 30s. Just be calm. Be calm. Make sure that this person is God's will for you, because at the end of the day, when challenges come, they will come. You want to be sure that you are in the center of God's will for me." Right. So I'm at the point in my life where it's like, God, if this, you see, marriage is very, very important to me because it can break me. It can mar my destiny. I know that. I understand the gravity of it. So I'm not in a hurry to take it. I don't take it lightly. Do you understand? Right. So while I am waiting for the person, while I am waiting for God to connect me with the man, what do? I keep myself busy. I travel. I learn about money. I make money because I want to live a particular lifestyle, and I don't want to kill someone's son by putting all the financial expenses on him. I want to be an asset to my husband. I don't want to be a liability.
Awesome.
So these are some of the things that I do, to just keep myself going while I'm waiting and not pondering over, oh, is this the guy? When is he coming? Oh my God. No. I just live my life to the fullest. Yeah. So that's it.
I have some questions for you from other people. If you were to write a note to your younger self, what would it be?
If I were to write a note to my younger self, the truth is, I'm living my dream. I'm living everything I've always thought I wanted to be and wanted to do. And I've not been hasty in making decisions. So the truth is, I'm fulfilled. Have I reached the best I want to be? Not yet. But the truth is, I really didn't make a lot of crazy mistakes that teenagers and other people made. I've always been focused. I've always been focused. So there's nothing that I want to tell myself that I'm not already doing. Do you understand? There's nothing I want to say to myself. The things I said to myself then are things that are my reality now. So if I wanted to say anything at all, go girl. Go girl, that's all.
Awesome. Amazing. Okay, that takes me to the next one. How do you handle your sexual orgies as a single person?
Yeah. Okay, so the truth is, I've never ever been sexually intimate with anybody. It's something that I said I was going to keep for my husband. So I guess it's a bit easier for me than someone who has been sexually active and then trying to themselves. But regardless of that, you still feel the urges. That's just the truth. So one thing I try not to do is to I try not to watch movies that will stimulate me. I try not to read books that will stimulate me. When I feel a certain way, I try to distract myself. I try to distract myself. The truth is, I'm going to be very, very real with you. When I was younger, I used to struggle with masturbation. So the Holy Spirit can help with that. Sometimes when I'm feeling that certain kind of way, I'll just be like, Holy Spirit, help me. And suddenly I'm okay. Do you get? So God is to, it's not easy in that aspect because you're curious, you want to know what you understand, what that feels like. And then when you turn every year left, right, center, you see so many things, even when you don't want to. You understand? So you're just curious, like, okay, what would this feel like and everything. Keep yourself busy. Pray for God's help. And you move. That's all. Just keep yourself busy, pray for God's help. And that's it. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing, Jite. Thank you so very much. I'm very sure that's going to be helpful, not just to single ladies, but also to anyone struggling with any of those things that you have talked about. Let me just move on quickly. In a culture where a woman's destiny, is considered to be tied to that of a man, yeah, how seriously do people take you, on first acquaintance?
How can the destiny of, well, I guess our destinies are intertwined. But the truth is, if you take yourself seriously, people will take you seriously. Respect is a big thing for me, so I like to respect myself so that people can respect me, and I respect people so that, do you understand? There's never been anybody that I've met that would not take me seriously, because sometimes I even try to tone it down because I have the choleric side of me, but I also have the sanguine side of me. The sanguine side comes out very, very often, but when you see the choleric side, you're like, hey. So I try to even tone it down. Do you understand?
Right.
It's the way you carry yourself at the end of the day. The way you carry yourself, that's the way people would address you. Do you understand? Yes. So how do you carry yourself? How do you speak? How do you dress? Do you understand? How do you reason? Even when you are playing, people know their boundaries. Even with my siblings, it's not bad with me. My siblings know their boundaries with me. Everybody knows their boundaries. They don't just, because I like my things in order, they don't just go and take my things. So much more someone meeting me and saying, oh, because you're single, oh, I won't take you serious. It has never happened to me. I'm not going to lie. It has never ever happened to me that someone will look down on me because I'm single. How? You won't even have the opportunity, because when I open my mouth to speak, I'm speaking with confidence. And that's the thing. You need to build confidence. You need to build confidence in yourself. It is when you're looking timid and weak, that's when someone will look at you and say, oh, you don't have a man, so you are not. I move around confident ladies. Do you understand? So I am confident. I know who I am. You can't tell me nothing. You can't use money to bamboozle me, because I'm making it on my own. It's young girls that will see someone that has a car and they'll be like, oh, he has a car, and so what? I have a car too. I can afford to buy it. It's not right. It's just knowing who you are.
Right.
When you know who you are, most times people who don't know themselves will say you are proud. But it's just knowing who you are. Like, I mean, you are a princess. You are the daughter of a king. When you can achieve things for yourself, so it means that the people that are coming to you, they must come correct, because they know this one is not just anyhow, like the Yorubas will say ejamla, big fish. So they know that this one is a big fish, even though in my mind I'm just like, I'm still this small girl. But people perception, I did not used to know that people had a certain perception of me, because for me, I'm just doing my normal daily life. I'm just living my life and going. But then, like, especially friends from way back, and then they'll just, sometimes you're opportune to hear, and these are girls that you think like, oh, these are big girls, but their perception of you is like way up there. And you're like, oh, so yeah, so I've never had to deal with that. Awesome. You have to be confident, carry yourself confidence. Yeah.
Awesome. So let me ask you, before we go, what are you looking for in a guy?
Let me laugh. What I want is just the basics, but it's like people don't want to level up these days, guys. So because they have so many girls around that they can easily go to, so they just feel like you're asking for too much. I want a man that has integrity. It is key. I don't want anybody that will embarrass me or shame. You see all those men that go to cheat on their wife and following small girls. It's very embarrassing to me. I find it very, very, very embarrassing. You don't even understand. I'll be like, hey, God. So you will not be walking out. One small girl will be looking at you and say, I'm sleeping with, hey, God forbid. God forbid. I reject you. So integrity, personal integrity is key. Please, I don't joke with that. A man that has personal integrity, a man that loves God. I'm not saying God fearing like people just say. This one, he loves God. Because that's the only security I have, that he loves God and he has a relationship. It's not because he wants to be faithful. It is the love and the relationship he has with God that is my security. That, okay, this guy, I know that he fears God. He really loves God. He's not playing. He's not pretending. Do you understand?
Right.
Yeah, so those are two non-negotiables for me. Those two things are non-negotiables for me. And then I like a guy that has good work ethics. Please, I don't want any kind of lazy person around me. I like a guy that has good work ethics. You know, the truth is, I like fine guys. Let's go to the physical. Your girl likes fine guys. Oh, Jesus. I like fine guys. But I'm not a fool. It's not just because this guy is fine, so I will fall for him.
Right.
Those my negotiables. They must be there. Do you understand? I like a guy that's handsome. I like a guy that is well groomed. But you see, with the physical, if the person has a potential, you can always help them shape out the rest. Do you understand?
Right.
But those two non-negotiable, personal integrity and love for God, I can't compromise on it. And then I like guys that are exposed, that have traveled, so that when we are having conversation, it's intellectually stimulating. So there's something called sapiosexuals. Sapiosexuals are those that are attracted to intelligence. So I'm a sapiosexual kind of person. I'm attracted to people that are intelligent. Do you understand? We can hold intelligent conversations. I like guys that have vision. Come on, your vision must wow me. When I ask you, okay, so you can't just tell me I want to build an empire. I want to build. How are you building it? What have you done so far? Don't just tell me I want to do this. I want to do it. How? What have you done so far towards it? So vision is very, very, very important to me. And then I like a guy that is confident, because that was one of the issues I had with the last relationship I mentioned earlier. He said I wanted too high things. The things I wanted were too high, were too lofty for him. Do you understand? And I don't fault him for that. So he kind of somewhat became intimidated, you know. And so he wanted to, any little thing I said was regarded as being not submissive, or being not being rude, or not being submissive. But the truth is, it wasn't like it wasn't a question of submission or stuff like that. He was just he didn't want me to pursue much. So in personal integrity, love for God, you must be a vision-oriented person. Those things are very, very important to me. So yeah, so that's the kind of. Please, spoken English. Don't come and be speaking what's an is for me. I don't like it. Don't go and speak what's an is for me, please. So you must take personal development seriously too.
Oh my God.
Grooming, all those things. I like it very well.
Maybe the person would have to learn from you also. We never can tell. So if he's not at that point, you're available, right? You're available to teach.
Yeah, I'm my friends. I'm not a bricklayer. I'm not a builder. I'm sorry. Everybody work on yourself. I got together.
Oh boy.
No, it's
okay. I understand.
I just feel like at my age, there are some things I cannot. If I was in my 20s, do you understand? I would be a bit relaxed, but there are some things that I expect you, because the guy will also be in his 30s too. I expect you to have already picked up on a couple of things. by now, eh? So it's not me that will now come and start doing hard work. I'm not a bricklayer. So
Oh my God.
I expect a certain level. The truth is,
Right,
I'm not really, my standards are not high, they're just basic.
right.
But for someone who is not willing to work on themselves or has not taken time to work on themselves, it would be like, oh, you want something too high, you want something too lofty. Oh, it's just the basic things of life,
Right.
personal integrity and all that. Yeah, so that's about it. That's about
Awesome.
it.
Awesome. It's been a really wonderful time spent with you, Jite. As we bring this to a close, I just want to ask you to tell us in your own words, what would you tell us about your understanding of being single and purposeful? I mean, like I said, this is about you personally. What would you love to say as we wrap this up?
Okay, being single and purposeful. Number one, you need to understand that singleness is a season and it's a season that you need to enjoy. Do you understand? And in that season, you need to figure out what your purpose is, why you are here. And in terms of being purposeful, you need to be purposeful with your finances. You need to get your act together. You need to be purposeful with your dreams. Because the truth is, when you get married, especially when the children start coming in, it's pretty difficult to still go after your dreams. So if you have a dream, now is the time to really work hard and chase it. Because I see so many girls, they come out of university and the first thing is, oh, they are looking for a guy to get married to them. It's not bad. But I've seen cases where those people now grow apart. Either the guy is now growing at a pace or the girl is now growing at a pace that the other person is not. So this is the time to figure out yourself. Who am I? What do I love? Do you understand? What's my
Right.
purpose? How can I be better financially? How can I be better personally? What level of exposure do I want to have? You know, just really just being intentional with how you live, how you present yourself to people, how do you dress, how do you come out. Some ladies, they stink. How much is deodorant? 800 naira. There's even one 250, 300. But some ladies, you walk past them and body odor and you're like, God. TD Jake said something when he came to our church the last time. He said there are two things that he can never tolerate: a smelly woman and a woman that gossips. So so these are things you have to be very, very intentional. You have to have a picture of the kind of image you want to project. You understand? You want to have a picture in your mind of how you want people to treat you and start shaping yourself towards that picture. Do you understand?
Right.
So just because you're single does not mean you should keep your life on a hold. Enjoy your season. When the right man comes or the right woman comes, even for the guys too, do you understand? Because some guys can just be very, very slack and very, very laid back. It's not when your wife comes, that's when you now want to double your effort of hustle. Double the effort of hustle now. So that you can, do you understand? And my pastor said something. He said some people marry when they are in the dungeon. So when years later they now grow to come up to the palace, but that spouse is not worthy, as in the spouse doesn't grow up to that level. So there's a problem where so many couples are distant because they married when they were in the dungeon. When I'm saying dungeon, I'm not saying dungeon literally, but I'm saying like they married when their mind was shallow. They married for where they were, not for where they were going. Do you understand? So these are just some ways. You just have to be intentional about the kind of life you want to live, the kind of home you want to have, the kind of image you want to project, and then just take it from there. Yeah, so that's about it. I hope I've been able to answer your questions very well.
Absolutely, Enajite. It's been a wonderful time with you. And I mean, I sit here and I tell myself, I want to do this again. But I just want to say a very big thank you to you for the time. I want to say a very big thank you to you for getting into that space. You know, there are spaces in our lives that we don't share with others. And I'm really thankful that you were able to share that space with us. When I say us, I mean myself and every other person who would listen to this. I mean, I discovered some new things about you, things we never thought about before now. And that really just inspires me. That helps me to know that Jita, you're going places. Like, go girl, keep flying, keep flying. And I really can't wait to meet this amazing man that God has prepared for you. You've been a wonderful, and this I know, and I talk about you wherever I find myself in that light. Keep making me proud. Keep making us proud. Keep doing you. Keep making God proud. I'm really happy that this time with you, and I look forward to another time spent with you in this manner.
Thank you so much.
I really appreciate you. Not just much love from me, much love from the crew, everyone connected to this team. We want to say a very big thank you. And so we'll let you go at this time until we see you again on the tongue of the Leonard. It's going to be a goodbye for now. Thank you very much.
Bye.